Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at Bitcoin. It is time for another update, and today we focus only within the smaller time frame, within this correction that has been forming since the all-time high. But for context, in the larger time frame, we are considering that we have a top within this wave to the upside within this cycle, and it's not necessarily that it is impossible to extend to even higher prices within this structure, but it is a much less likely interpretation in my opinion. And sure, extensions are possible within this structure, within other structures, but for me, the main and aggressive area of accumulation is here at the 31k level. Sure, looking for some positions as we complete here an ABC pattern into structural support can also be a very sensible interpretation, a very sensible idea, as very likely we could be expecting a decently strong relief rally to occur once we form a bottom here and once we have a full count within these structures. So we have a couple of indications here suggesting that we may be able to form a more substantial bottom in this area and reverse in quite a decent push to the upside afterwards. But at the moment, we are still under a serious threat that we will extend to lower prices as we are looking at this ABC pattern. So in this wave C, we already have in place a wave 1, 2, and a 3, and we have a wave 4 area of resistance up to the 73.8k level. I have provided this area of resistance to you once we bottomed within this wave 3, and I would actually go even as far as to say that if we break not the 50% retracement, but the previous wave 4 swing high, we would be able to strongly indicate that we will not get a fifth wave within this area. Not that we will not get another low, but we will not extend within a fifth wave in this area if we break the previous wave 4 swing high, because the proportions would be quite outrageous to even consider that this would be a reset of the wave 4. Not impossible technically, but very unlikely in my opinion, and most of the time other interpretations, other structures would end up working better. Now, internally within this area, we are looking even for a potential reversal. There are structures that would allow this to form an early bottom, and we are looking for levels of support that would allow us to look for extensions to higher prices. And even in the previous video, I have provided to you a couple of such levels that would allow us to track continuation to higher prices. And here we had an initial wave 1 to the upside. We were looking for a potential wave 2 bottom and another one to set up within this area. But I highlighted strongly that if we break the 78.6% retracement in this area of support within the internal 1-2 setup, we would need to strongly expect to form a complete reset of this larger wave 2. And yeah, this happened. We have broken the last level of support, the 66.3k level. Once we recovered, twice we recovered, but the third time it was just demolished, and it allowed us to extend directly into our last level of support for the larger 1-2 setup. So now we are watching for a potential reversal still, where we would need to assume that we have formed a WXY correction within this area, or honestly potentially to have even here the wave 1 top and have this as a WXY structure. Doesn't matter exactly the count, the idea is we are able to still look for continuation to higher prices, but we have reached our last level of support. If we form another low within this area, it is strongly suggested that we should expect a complete breakdown and that we would need to be prepared for the wave 5 to be unfolding. Now, a couple of ideas of how this could turn out. So, above the wave 4 high, I'm looking for a reset. As long as we don't break that, I cannot dismiss the possibility of even a sideways extension within a triangle in this wave 4. That is why I need to break the previous swing high of this wave 4. But for this idea of a wave 5 unfolding in this area, I need to complete a 5-wave structure, and for that I would be looking for this wave 3 to reach the ideal target initially, which is the 138.2% extension of the wave 1. That is at the 61.5k level, around that area. We haven't achieved that yet. we may still extend internally in this structure, yeah, from here an ABC pattern to reach this level. If we do not extend there, we could be looking for a larger ABC pattern, which is what I need to track for the last level of resistance currently. So I would be watching the 78.6% retracement for a potential wave A within this as a larger wave 3 to the downside. So we are talking about the 69k level. A break above that would be a pretty strong indication that we will not extend in this 50 to the downside at all, and a break above the swing high in this wave 2 would completely demolish the idea, and really to extend the lower prices within a fifth wave only within a triangle would we really be able to track that idea with some reliability. Now, before we move into the smaller time frame, I wanted to briefly mention our channel newsletter where you get access to our monthly top picks, where we identify for you the high quality stocks and assets that you can consider to accumulate. You can afterwards follow them along with us on YouTube, but you will have my priority watch list for the next period, and we will identify for you the high quality areas of support and the levels of invalidation, which will allow you to create a reliable risk management plan. Now, the link for sign up is in the description. It is completely free, but if you enjoy our content and you want to support us, you can check out our channel membership. The link for that is in the description as well, or you can click the join button. And by joining, you will get access to additional content. If you want to learn more about our channel membership or the newsletter, you can check out our channel update video. But for now, let's go back to the chart. So here within this structure, I wouldn't focus on how far do we need to go before we reach the area of resistance to identify the minimum level that we need to push to. Because again, I could consider an extension to be ongoing in the wave C within this area, even though I would prefer a full count to be in place in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. I would be able to look for a potential extension in this wave C. So instead of giving you different scenarios in which we could be looking for direct continuation lower, I would suggest just to assume, just to be aware, because I have already analyzed this, just to be aware that we are within a resistance area in one count or the other. We are able to extend to lower prices at any point, but we have the most relevant level of support, the 62.6k level. As long as we don't form another swing low within this area, we can still look for the yellow interpretation to take charge and take us to higher prices. We can use that information to even place a stop loss, as we know that if we break below this level, yeah, the same way we have broken in this idea of a 1-2 setup, we will very likely extend to even lower prices afterwards. Now, from a smaller time frame perspective, I would focus on a potential 1-2 setup in this area, as I may be able to identify within this very small time frame an initial 5-wave move to the upside in this area. It's not going to be the prettiest one, it's within a very small time frame, but this is going to be our area of support we can track for continuation to higher prices, assuming a more substantial top would have formed here. I cannot guarantee that we will not extend directly higher within this area, but this is what I'm focusing on. Now, this area starts at the 63.9k level and goes all the way down to the 63k level, and I would go even as far as to say that below the 78.6% retracement, internally at the 63k level, we would likely break the larger area of support as well afterwards. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily trust to extend higher if we break the internal level of support. Now, as we push higher within this wave to the upside, as I was saying, I cannot outrule extensions. We would need to adjust the area of support along with it. But as of now, I am looking ideally for a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 to build within this area, which would allow us to identify a much higher probability 1-2 setup to form that would allow us to look for a follow-up in a wave 3 in the yellow structure. Now, the thing is, once we have the first 3 waves within such a pattern, we would have already formed the likely structure, because it could be replaced at any point by an ABC pattern within the orange structure, which would allow us to look for continuation to lower prices. So At this point, I would prefer to extend to higher prices, at least within an A, B, C pattern, if not something more bullish. And if we are able to identify within a large time frame an initial 5-week move to the upside, within the wave 2 correction would be an interesting additional confirmation level and an accumulation area that can be, let's say, even abused. But for now, from the larger time frame perspective, we are within the area of support in this yellow structure. This still remains highly interesting because we know that below the 62.6k level, the probabilities have shifted and we can apply rigorous risk management that would allow us to minimize losses when we are within deep support while maximizing potential profits, as a wave 3 could very easily still take place. Keep in mind the probabilities for this larger wave 2 correction in yellow, in this 1-2 setup, have not shifted. Those are still sky high as they could be, especially since we have only formed a corrective structure within this area. But for now, these are the levels, this is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.